All right, hello everybody. Welcome to the Platinum class for Trinity Competitive Racing. We are here in Italy for round 7, the Italian Grand Prix, and just when you think you couldn't get enough of me, I'm back again tonight. Blue Machine is not here for commentary, so I, Camden Luca, will be doing solo commentary here tonight, depending on how Charles's race goes. He may get in here at some point. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully he has a good race. But yeah, we're going to have some fun tonight. We are at the halfway point of the season. 14 drivers, and we've already got a couple of guys out on the track right now, including Bud Schweizer in the Williams. I'm going to try and make sure I get all the names right tonight. Not used to doing this, my first Platinum class broadcast race, but it'll be a good one. So let's ride on board with the Williams. Bud Schweizer coming out of Parabolica right now. And we'll do a lap with the Williams driver around this pretty tricky track. A couple of chicanes, a couple of straightaways. Definitely a diverse racetrack. As he heads down into turn 1. Watch out for the braking point right here. The start of the race might be crazy. It's been pretty civilized the past couple of days, though. I noticed that both silver and golden class did actually off, we found out, which is why we had no safety cars. So Bud Schweizer headed into the chicane of turns 4 and 5. Gets on the curbs a little bit right there, but pretty solid so far. He heads into turns 6 and 7, the Lesmo section. Turn 7 right here is pretty difficult. Really want to make sure you're patient on the throttle. It's easy to get on those curbs and upset the car. Now he's headed into Ascari, and this is probably my least favorite part of the track right here. It's very technical, it's hard to get it right. Let's see, actually, yeah, he does a pretty good job of getting through there. So this is a good lap for the Williams driver. Let's see what kind of a time he can put up. Right behind him, who do we got behind him? We got Bats behind him, so we'll watch Bud Schweizer come to the finish line, and then we'll watch and see what Bats does. So Bud Schweizer, a 120.6, and Bats is going to put up a 120.5, just right there with each other. And we saw this in the Golden class yesterday. The top 3 separated by just a couple of hundredths, and it was SPM, I believe, who ended up getting the pole position, and he had a pretty good race. He finished on the podium as well. Let's see, who else do we got here? Professional on an out lap. Let's take a look at Chargers right here. And we will get into the points in just a second. So let's ride on board with the Ferrari driver here. He's headed out of Ascari down the back straight in the Parabolica. Meanwhile, Cali Rob in the AlphaTauri, he could use a good run today. P3 so far, a 121.9. Good stuff. And Chargers, the Ferrari driver, goes up into P2. Like I said, everybody is just right there. All 3 of these guys right there within just a couple of hundredths of a second. You look from Bats Plus down to Bud Schweizer. What is that? 2.5 hundredths of a second? Just very close stuff there. I want to go, is B-Tom on track? Yes, I want to go on board with B-Tom, our points leader. He extended his gap last week in Spain with that victory, and he is ahead of Professional by 28 points. So the 2-time Platinum champion looking for a 3rd Platinum championship, which would tie for the most Platinum championships with Seafreeze, but he's going to have to fight with Silent, aka Verstappen, for this win. But take a look at Stanley. Everybody putting in times right here. Stanley going to the top of the charts with a 120.3. Head back down to B-Tom right here, see what kind of a time he can put up. He's headed through Parabolica right now, turn 11. Coming to the finish line. This is looking pretty good for the Red Bull driver. Yes, top of the charts, 120.2. Ahead of Stanley by just a little bit. see. TJ, my co-commentator, he's here tonight. He races in the Platinum class, and he's put up a 120.4. That puts him in 3rd spot. And that was where he finished last week. TJ had a very good run last week, got the fastest lap as well. And that puts him 5th in points. So we will go over the points right now, actually. So, as I mentioned before, B-Tom is leading the points. He's also leading qualifying right now as Cam has retired from the session. Professional in the Mercedes is 2nd in points. He's within range, 28 points back. And the interesting thing with these two guys is that they're also fighting for the Constructors. Mercedes and Red Bull tied for the Constructors lead. 3rd in points, Seafreeze, the Ferrari guy, the 3-time Platinum champion. He got his winless streak over in Britain, and he did not have a great run last week, finished outside of the points, but he is 3rd in points, 37 points back. And then right behind him, literally as close as you can get to him, is Verstappen. He is 38 points behind, so he and Seafreeze very, very close in points for that 3rd point spot. And then rounding out the top 5 in points, as I said, TJ in the Red Bull. He's a little ways back compared to 3rd and 4th. He's 66 points back. So right now, really, you're looking at 4 guys that are competing for this championship. But B-Tom, he's looking pretty good right now to possibly go for a 3rd championship. But we're only halfway through. And TJ, man, I mean, his favorite driver is Lewis Hamilton, and I get why, because he is so good in the second half of the season. We saw that last season in the Golden Class, and he's looking to do the same this season and have a second half of the season comeback. Take a look at Bats Plus here. So we got 8 minutes left in qualifying. Bats in the Alpine, and he is currently tied for 10th in points. He's in a battle with Jose. Let's see what kind of a time he can put up right here. He is 5th right now in qualifying. He's right within range of Verstappen. So just a slight improvement will put him ahead of the Mercedes as he heads down this DRS straight into Ascari, this technical section right here. Does a pretty good job. You don't want to get those curbs right there, but otherwise pretty solid. And we'll see what he can do. Coming to the finish line. Who else is on a lap here? It looks like Toaster is on a flyer. We'll come back to him. But Bats Plus coming out of turn 11. Coming to the finish line to put up a 120.3, up into 3rd place, but barely behind 2nd place. Toaster headed through Parabolica. Let's see if he can put in a lap time right here. He's not put one up so far, but he does put up a fastest lap for the Alfa Romeo. Toaster, fastest lap, the first guy in the 119s. Wow, that was a really good lap. And look at the gap between he and B-Tom, and B-Tom is going to have a second chance here. He wants to have a say at this pole position. I mean, yeah, that's half a second. That's a great lap from Toaster. Toaster currently P8 in the standings. He's around where Stanley is, so both of those guys 1st and 3rd right now in qualifying, but B-Tom is starting his lap. We will keep an eye on him, see what he can do. Take a look. Bats Plus, he's a little behind right now on his time. Who else do we got? Let's take a look at Verstappen right here. He's up a 10th, headed through the chicane of turns 4 and 5. So for those watching, thank you for tuning in to the Platinum class. Drop some predictions down. I always love the predictions, and I'll make sure to put my predictions in there. I'm sure they're going to be wrong. My predictions always come back to bite me, but yeah, drop some predictions down. I will definitely read them, and I will let everybody know what your opinions are. But we're currently on board with the Mercedes driver. He heads out of Ascari, P7 right now. I'm sure he will improve that lap time right here. He's a quick driver. Let's see what kind of a lap time he can put up. It's interesting. I saw people in the Golden Class yesterday not stay tight to the inside of Parabolica right there, and he does the same thing. It puts him up in 3rd place, a 120.1. But yeah, here. So B-Tom headed through Parabolica. You really want to take a tight line through here. TJ and I were talking about this yesterday. Seems like a lot of... Oh, no, B-Tom, he's doing that. So he knows to get down to the inside there. And... Okay, so that was not a good lap from B-Tom. He'll have to try again. Cali Rob, P3, barely ahead of Verstappen. So if you take a look at second through, what, fifth? It's just a tenth. A couple of tenths right there. And even sixth place, I mean, Bats Plus is right there. So it's going to come down to the last couple of seconds here in qualifying for the pole position. Stanley, he looks to be on a flyer right now. No? Don't think so? All right. Who do we got? Who do we got? Looks like B-Tom. Yeah, he's going for a lap right here. Oh, and he invalidates. No, he is not on a lap. That's my bad right there. All right, Professional, 10th place. He is certainly going to improve that lap time. He is 0.3 to the good. He takes a pretty tight line through Parabolica right there, and coming to the finish line, P7, a 120.4. Just barely ahead of Bud Schweizer. Yeah, I mean, you take a look at second through now 9th place. I know I'm kind of a broken record as, oh, there goes all the signs. Separated by just a few tenths. It shows just how competitive this Platinum class is, and we only have 14 people tonight, so that is something to look for, but I'm not going to lie, I kind of like these smaller races as Professional. He is in a hurry. That Italian rush hour traffic. He's wanting to get back to the pits, and I don't blame him. He's got 3 minutes left here in qualifying to make it happen. Bud Schweizer, is he? No, does not look like he's on a lap. Looks like he's about to start one. Dreamsy, here's somebody we can look at. Never mind, he's in the pits. Alright, so now 3 minutes left in qualifying. This is about the time where people are going to get back into the pits and come back out for another lap. Bud Schweizer, not a good first chicane right there, going over the curbs. Yeah, this is about the time where you are going to come back out and do a flyer, as we see most people in the pits right now, but Seafreeze on an out lap. Oh, Bud Schweizer, he's in rush hour traffic as well. Seafreeze on an out lap. TJ on an out lap. We will watch these guys because Seafreeze down in P12, definitely not where we typically see him. He's third in points, about 37 points back, so the British Grand Prix winner looking for a little bit more, and I'm sure he will get it. TJ as well, P9, as I said, he's on his out lap, and he's up there in points. A quick driver, obviously the Golden Class champion, looking for a little bit more here in qualifying. I see Blin Machine in the comments there. Blin, usually our commentator here in the Platinum class, but I will be I will be Blin Machine today. So yeah, I'm going to be on board with T-Freeze here. He's getting those tires warmed up, setting himself up here for Parabolica, and let's go on board with the Ferrari driver and see what kind of a time he can put up right here. He's in P12, a little ways back. Didn't get what he wanted on that banker lap, but we're going to go on board with him now. Headed down into the first chicane, turns 1 and 2. He goes down in the third gear right there. I like to take that in fourth gear. He short shifts to fourth. Pretty solid chicane right there. Not going over the curbs. That Curva Grande, you see he goes over those curbs right there. And every hundredth of a second matters, and he got that right there by doing that. Goes a little bit deep into turns 4 and 5 right there, that chicane. Let's take a look at the Lesmos. Turn 6, yep, he stays tight along the curbs. Turn 7, the back end of the car can get upset right here. Doesn't look very upset right there. DRS open. And I want to see his delta, because like I said, he put up a pretty mediocre lap time before. He has a car in front of him. He's only good by a couple of tenths, so maybe he screwed up Parabolica the previous lap, or maybe this lap just is not gonna cut it. We have a car around right in Parabolica. Looks like the Williams. He's out of the way. Here comes Seafreeze to the finish line. What kind of a time will he put up here? as qualifying comes to a close, only up to P11. So Seafree is going to be starting towards the back for this race. That is crazy. Who do I want to watch? I can't keep track of all these people right here. TJ does not improve. Wow. So TJ and Seafree's both not making much progress on their previous laps. Chargers a little bit to the good right here. And Ferrari, they're a ways back from the top two in constructors, but if they're starting back in P10 and P11, that is not going to do them any favors, as we are closing out qualifying the last couple of seconds right here. Let's take a look. Chargers to the finish line. Only a little bit. It keeps them in P10, so Ferrari not going to have a good qualifying effort here today. Oh, B-Tom, is he stuck behind this car right here? Oh, this might be bad for B-Tom. He is stuck behind somebody. Who is that? That's Bud Schweizer, and yeah, this is gonna hurt B-Tom here. Maybe if Bud Schweizer is fast enough, this could pull him along to the finish line, but definitely not ideal. Toaster goes fastest again. We will keep an eye out to see if that time sticks. Verstappen goes up P2. So now, B-Tom, take a look right here. He goes a little bit wide. Like I said, he does have that Williams ahead of him. Let's see what kind of a time it will be. P4. Oh, so close to P3, but P2. Cali Rob. Wow, look at second through fifth. You could just put a blanket over all four of these guys right here. Cali Rob through B-Tom. Just barely the slightest amount there. Professional. He might be up there as well. Let's take a look. P6. So a little bit far back from second through fifth, but he does improve on his time. Chargers looks to be coming to the line. It's not going to be a better lap time. So that will do it. Toaster in the Alfa Romeo has gotten pole position. It's good to see a fellow Alfa Romeo driver on top of the grid to start today's race. And he is going to be going for some big points here today. Yeah, let's take a look at his season so far. So Toaster, he has gotten a best finish of 6th place. So yeah, Toaster definitely looking for a good run here today, and I think with that pace, he is more than capable. Alright, so drop your predictions down in the chat. This is time to get those in. We do not have formation lap here in TCR, so we're gonna get right started. It's very quick. These drivers have to make sure that they're ready. You don't want to be going, to the bathroom or getting a snack or anything. Can't be doing that. Last thing you want to do is come back and your car is just sitting on the grid, and then because of how the game works, you can't sit there long. The game will just say, nope, you're done for the day, and they will disqualify you. So we do have 15 people now. It looks like Jose has joined us, so 15 people for this race. 2 people did not put in a lap time. But yeah, it's going to be crazy. Turn 1, lap 1. There is no other chaos like turn 1 at Monza. And for whatever reason, the past couple of days, there's been no chaos. And, I think it's going to balance out. I think today is going to be the day that we see a crazy, hectic start. But let's get my predictions in. So, I'm going to go Verstappen for the win. I'm going to say he finishes P1. I'm going to go professional P2. Let's say Mercedes 1-2 today. And then I am going to go, let's go Toaster P3. I'll give Toaster some juju. I will put him in my podium. So unfortunately for those guys, because of my historic commentator's curse, I don't know if that's going to be possible. But yeah, so I got Verstappen, professional, and Toaster for my my podium. Another thing to note too, so we have the Ferraris down there and the McLarens. The McLarens, as of now, not starting in the points, and they are 8th in constructors. They are tied with Williams, and Williams is starting P7. Bud Schweizer, Dreamsy. We'll see what happens. It's going to be crazy. We got 7 seconds left until the session starts, and you know, like I said before, you have Mercedes and Red Bull up there for the constructors' lead. They are tied, but when you got guys like Alfa Romeo and AlphaTauri up there, that could shake things up towards the mid pack of constructors. Because if you look from 4th to 7th, that is separated by 6 points. 8th through 10th in constructors separated by 9. So things still very close here in the first half of the season. But we are just about ready to get going for the Platinum class. And look at this. Oh, no. Oh, no. We have a wet Italian Grand Prix. Oh, man. That is going to be interesting. So that just throws a wrench into everything. Yeah, I mean, you know, for guys like Seafreeze and TJ starting at the back, this could benefit them a little bit if things get a little bit crazy on the start right here. Yeah, that is going to be insane. We didn't have weather in Silver class or Golden class, so we get some weather this week. But yeah, going to be a crazy start. Hopefully damage is on. I'm not wishing for any problems for the drivers, but I think it's a lot better when damage is on. And unfortunately for the Golden class race yesterday, damage was not turned on, so that is why we didn't see any safety cars, or we probably should have seen a couple of retirements, honestly. But we're just about underway. 15 drivers, a wet race, turn 1 at Monza. Just hit your brakes. Hit your braking point. Don't use other people as a brake. It's effective to use other people as a brake, but don't do it, especially if damage is on. Not ideal. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. Lights out and away we go from the Italian Grand Prix. Who is going to get off the line better than everybody else? Toaster does not get a good start. Cali Rob goes ahead. Verstappen goes ahead. Down into turn 1. They are side by side for the top spot. Watch out for your braking point. Oh, silent. Verstappen going a little bit wide right there. Contact made with him in the Alfa Romeo. B-Tom goes through to the lead. Professional up into 2nd place. Verstappen down in the 3rd. We have a bunch of chaos here in the midfield. Look at this pack, looking like Daytona here in turn 3. Bats Plus and company. Toaster down to P7. Contact right there between those two drivers. Headed into turn 4. Bats Plus going over the curbs right there to give room. Toaster sideways right there. We have a car off the track, it looks like. Things getting back underway. Stanley down in P9. Seafree still down there in P10. Oh, car off the track. Looks like that's the Alpine of Bats Plus going off in Lesmos, and he is down into last place. Car is getting sideways here. Little grip for these drivers. Cam goes up into P11. Back up to the front now. B-Tom has pulled a little bit of a gap to Professional and Verstappen. That Mercedes 1-2 prediction looking pretty good right now. They've made some good track position here. Take a look at the start. Oh, trouble in the back. Looks like we're back underway here. Cali Rob has had a moment. Cali Rob down to P14. So if we take a look at the positions gained and lost, B-Tom up 4 spots. Professional up 4 spots. Jose has gained 8 spots off the start. He is in 6th place. TJ going for the move. 4th place on Budweiser, and he makes it look easy. Take a look back through the grid. Seafreeze has gained a couple of spots here off the start. His teammate, they've pretty much swapped starts here. Swapped spots. That's a tongue twister. Down to P11. They have pretty much swapped positions there. We saw Cali Rob have a moment. He started up front. Unfortunate for him. Sir Charles down in P15. He is reserving tonight. Golden class driver. In the McLaren, we have a driver in the escape route. That is Chargers. So not a good start for Chargers right there. Ooh, Charles get a little squirrely out of turn 4. Back up at the front. Take a look at this. Professional right behind B-Tom. And he is going to think about the move right here. Nope, he tucks back in line. Thinks better of it. Definitely not an ideal overtaking spot right there. into Ascari. B-Tom gets a better exit out of Ascari right there. Take a look at Verstappen right there. P3, and he has gained time. We have a car around. That is Chargers. So 2 moments in a single lap Charles has to avoid. Not a good start for Chargers in the Ferrari. Back up at the front. Oh my gosh, look at Silent just eating up Verstappen's car right here. He's going to go by him pretty darn easy. I mean, he made that look pretty good. I'm sure there was a little communication right there. Oh! B-Tom going wide! He goes off the track big time, off the course, and he has lost the lead, and he's in P3, possibly P4. Here comes his teammate TJ, and he is going to lose 3 spots because of that mistake. Maybe 2 if he can hold on to this spot. And he's going to keep that spot. TJ will let him have it. But not a good start. Man, is my commentator's curse over? I predicted a Mercedes 1-2 in that specific order. And like I said, they have gained spots off the start in just the first couple of laps. And like I said before, a tight battle in Constructors. You have Mercedes and Red Bull tied, and they make up the first 4 spots. So, I apologize if I pronounce this incorrectly. Fedek? Is that how you pronounce your name? He says Vettel vibes. Yeah, for sure. And no, we do not have rolling starts in TCR. Verstappen has had a moment. He's going down to P5, down to P6. Jose has had one heck of a start. He started in P14, in P5. He might have to go back down to P6. Verstappen having a moment right there. We check back in with Professional, who now takes the lead because of Verstappen having his little issue. So Professional doing great things right now, and talk about, like I said, Mercedes, Red Bull 1-2, not just in the constructors, but the drivers, and this specific order as well. Stanley, oh, contact right there. They're both off the course. He and Toaster going off. That was contact there. Budweiser has gone around in Curva Grande. That is a weird spot to crash out at. And we have a safety car. Oh, Stanley off the course. What is going on here? Lots of chaos right now. But Budweiser crashing out towards Curva Grande. And that puts a safety car out on track. So lap 4. And believe it or not, that is the second safety car all week. FIDAC. Okay, gotcha. Gotcha. So safety car out here in the Italian Grand Prix. Wet conditions, and it does not look like we're going to be putting on the intermediates anytime soon. But like I was saying though, Mercedes, Red Bull 1-2 in both drivers and constructors, and these 2 guys right here. B-Tom, Professional, 1-2 in the standings. Professional, he's a little ways back, 28 points, so he definitely needs to finish ahead of B-Tom today. That could be huge in closing that gap. Let's take a look. I just want to see if anybody comes into the pits, knowing how this league is. These drivers can get crazy with pit strategy. Top 3 stays out, 4th stays out. 5th comes in. Jose is going to come into the pits. So after making up all that track position on the start, he's going to give it up in trade for tires. Interesting. He puts on, oh, he has wing damage. Okay, so yeah, that's a good call then to come into the pits there. Bats Plus into the pits. He's putting on the intermediate tires. Just as I said, that we're probably still in wet conditions. Maybe these drivers know something I don't. But that is really interesting for Bats Plus. We'll have to see if it pays off for him. So this is a good time to remind everybody that Trinity Competitive Racing is always looking for new drivers. You can join B in the silver class. You can join other people in the golden class. I do commentate the golden class, so you would see me there, just not on track. And you can see all of these guys in the platinum class depending on what assists you use and what your pace is like. we're looking for drivers. So you could sign up as a reserve. There's not many full-time seats right now, but if you stay long enough, trust me, you will end up in a full-time seat for sure. And check out our merchandise. C-Freeze, he always wants to make sure that we're mentioning the merchandise. So yeah, check out the merchandise on trinitycompetitiveracing.com. Also, make sure to subscribe. I gotta be a typical YouTuber. Like, subscribe, helps us out. And we do have a podcast as well on this YouTube channel. You can go back and watch previous episodes. We have it every Monday morning at 8 o'clock. So when you're getting up, going to your 9 to 5 job or whatever you do, having breakfast, having your cup of coffee, you can sit down and listen to Trinity Competitive Racing. We talk about these races. We talk about real F1. We talk about anything, really, honestly. Like, there's times where we talk about pretty much anything. So, Charles in the pits. Okay, so maybe the intermediate tires are the way to go. Bats Plus just came into the pits on those tires, and you know, I am looking at the screen. It does look like the rain is gradually decreasing, but you don't want to rush onto the intermediate tires, because if you're not ready for those conditions, it will slow you down, and track position is important more than anything. So we'll see how it pays off. And you know, Charles, he, like I said before, he is a golden class driver. He is reserving in tonight's platinum class race, so he's got nothing to lose. He can try this strategy, see if it works out for him. But yeah, now Chargers has put on the intermediates. So, man, I am curious to see what everybody else does now, because if the intermediates are the way to go, then people like Professional, B-Tom, TJ, I mean, they're kind of stuck right now. Bats Plus, Charles, and Chargers may have done the correct strategy here. We'll take a look when we start back up here and see how the pace is. But yeah, that's really interesting, though, that all of these front-running guys, because the safety car came out, the first lap of the safety car, they didn't come into the pits. These guys at the back just came in. So maybe the conditions have lightened up in the past couple of laps to where, you know, it's intermediate conditions. We're going to have another lap under safety car, it looks like. We'll have to see if anybody else comes in. That is a good question, Fedak. Is Mercedes willing to race each other? Well, is Rebel willing to race each other? TJ and B-Tom tied for the constructors lead with Mercedes, and depending on whose pace is quicker, say that TJ gets a better start, B-Tom might want to let him by, but that's tough because, like I said, B-Tom, he's our championship leader in drivers. So, yeah, that's a great point. We'll have to see what happens, and Verstappen can definitely get back up there. He had a moment. He lost some spots, but he's shown his pace. I think right now he's probably the quickest guy on track, just based off of how good of a start he had. And, you know, he dropped back a couple spots, but he's a quick driver, and I'm sure he will be hungry. So, if you're watching right now, I kind of want to ask a fun question. Since we're at the Italian Grand Prix, what's everybody's favorite Italian food? I feel like we need to ask these questions more often. I need to do this more in the golden class. I'm going to say lasagna. I like just like a cheesy lasagna. Maybe, you know, throw some sort of meat in there. Lasagna is the way to go for me. But yeah, drop some comments down in the stream. The safety car is in this lap. So Professional, he's going around 60 miles an hour. He dictates the pace. He is the race leader. And we will have to see where he restarts. Preferably, I like to go through Parabolica, like the middle to exit of Parabolica. That way you're still in the corner. You know, it's hard to get on throttle, and I think that's probably the position to hit the throttle at. Let's see, Professional. He's in the middle to exit of Parabolica. Now he's more towards the exit. Yeah, he's waiting a long time here. Professional, around 90 miles an hour. He goes right before the finish line. We're back underway. And B-Tom and TJ right there. TJ gets a great start. He is right there with B-Tom. Let's see what happens here. Look at this. All three cars headed down into turn one. Watch out for your braking points. Oh, there's an incident. Aston Martin contact right there. That's Stanley going off the racetrack. And that is his race up in smoke. No front wing to his car. Let's take a look at everybody else right here trying to get around him. Is that damage to the Alpine? Looks like the Alpine of Bats Plus has damage as well. So that was a terrible start for the mid-pack. Like I said, you got to watch out for your braking points. And now Jose is going to have to get by Stanley ASAP right here. Stanley having damage, and this is going to hold up Jose right here. Oh, Bats Plus off the track. Not a good restart for Bats Plus. He's lost a lot of track position. Yeah, Jose losing a lot of time right here to Stanley. Does Jose have damage? I don't see much damage. Yeah, he's going to try and go by him. He needs to get by him quick because he is losing a lot of track position. Stanley going to give him the spot. Now Cali Robb. Cali Robb, he started up towards the front, ended up having troubles through Ascari earlier. Now he's going to be Stanley's next victim here, and Stanley will definitely be coming into the pits here to get a fresh front wing after people just colliding in turn one. It's hard to get on the brakes without hitting anybody in turn one at Monza. So, yeah, trouble for the Aston Martin. So, what do we have in the comments? Lasagna is a go. Chicken parm. All right, yeah, I like chicken parm as well. Chicken parm, it's always a good option whenever you're going out to eat, I feel like. Take a look at this. Seafreeze. Now, Seafreeze has a penalty. Seafreeze, oh, careful Seafreeze. Our first driver with a penalty. He's got 3 seconds, so you cannot... Oh, Toaster going defensive. You cannot get rid of that 3-second penalty. He will have that the entire race. And he makes that look easy. Oh, Toaster taking the escape route. Not ideal for Toaster. His line through that corner was toast. Oh, and there's another racing line that is toast. Charles going off in the escape route there, going off the track, and now Charter's looking to get by him. Ooh, that was close. A little bit of lag right there, but... So, B-Tom and TJ, they're still second and third. The way they restarted... TJ's got good pace, man. He's staying right there with B-Tom, but like I said, Verstappen, he is right there. He's pulled a gap on Cam in 5th place. And now Toaster getting passed by yet another car here, but back up to Verstappen. Let's see if he can use some of that battery to get around TJ. And yeah, the conditions are definitely getting better. These guys putting in fastest laps right now. We'll have to see if people at the back made the right decision putting on the intermediate tires. Charles, Chargers, Stanley. But Stanley, he had to come in for a wing, so his race not in a good spot. Yeah, I mean, Verstappen, I think he's the fastest guy right now. Maybe Professional is a little quicker, but he is closing in on TJ and B-Tom. He didn't get a great exit out of the chicane in turns 1 and 2, but I think he's closing in on these drivers. He's extending that gap on Cam, too. Cam in 5th place. He did not qualify, I believe. No, I don't know if he had a back of the grid penalty because there were no penalties from Spain, but he chose not to put in a lap. So maybe there's something there, but okay. Yep, so Bats Plus just put back on the wet tires. That's interesting. I don't know what to think. You have these guys up front putting in fastest laps on lap 10, and we have a guy like Bats Plus that says, you know what, I'm going to put on the wet tires. So I don't know what to think. I think if you're at the front, you stay with these tires. If the conditions get better, then maybe you come in, but I don't know. That's what happens when you have safety cars. You have professional fastest lap. I really think the conditions are getting better. I think it's interesting that Bats Plus just put on the wet tires. That's just really interesting. And he's gaining on Stanley too. You notice Stanley, he did come in and fix his wing, and Stanley, he qualified towards the front today, getting a little sideways right there. Maybe Bats knows something that I don't. Verstappen still just keeping that half-second gap. How many laps of fuel do you think they took out? They probably put in too much fuel. We've already had a safety car, and yeah, it's tough though, because you can't predict a safety car. That's the problem. You want to underfuel, you want to have just enough fuel to get to the finish, but say that you underestimate it and there's no safety cars, you could be at the mercy of having to coast, you know, save fuel, and that just ruins your race. But yeah, it's tough with these safety cars. It's so unpredictable. So I don't know, but I think they definitely put in a little too much fuel, probably, considering the wet conditions and the safety car we've already had, and we're not even halfway through the race. So my guess is that a lot of these guys put in just enough fuel to make it to the finish. But here we go. Okay, Verstappen in the pits. Is it time to put on the intermediates? Let's take a look. Yep. Okay, so intermediates are the way to go. That is my conclusion. Intermediates are the way to go. Verstappen is taking a risk by being the first driver at the front to put on these tires, and I have to wonder, oh, there's Bats Plus. I caught that at the last second. He is out through a scar. Will that be a safety car? Oh my gosh, yes it is. Wow. So, what is this going to do for Verstappen's race? Oh my gosh. So now, Professional is out of the second chicane in turns 4 and 5. They can all come in here under safety car and get intermediate tires. Oh man, the timing of that for Verstappen. That's unbelievable. Well, now I'm curious to see where this is going to put Verstappen on track. He is close to everybody else right now. Charles right in front of him. Dreamsy, like all of these drivers right in front of him. This could be huge. Oh no, and oh my gosh, did he just do that? A drive-through. I was just hyping you up. This is unbelievable. I just said you just came in at the perfect time and pitted. And he gets a drive-through. Oh my goodness, Verstappen. Oh, there goes the Mercedes 1-2 prediction. Wow. That's huge. Oh, look at this. B-Tom wasting no time right on the rear wing of Professional. Don't speed coming into the pits. And I am sure that all these drivers now, we're going to be putting on the intermediate tires. That is crazy. Oh, and Seafreeze, what happened? He just got into a collision. Oh, is he going to have to change his wing? Oh my goodness, mistakes being made here under the safety car. My commentator's curse has come alive. That Verstappen curse, man, that is something else. Yeah, I mean, that puts him out in third place. He was fourth before he came into the pits, so he was going to gain time. Man, that's unfortunate. So, Beaton, though, okay. Look at this. So most of the drivers just put wet tires back on. Professional intermediates, Beaton wets. Verstappen intermediates, Cam wets. I don't know what to think. Chargers intermediates. What is the correct tire to put on? I think you are at just the transition in between wets and intermediates. Just by looking at the conditions right now, it looks like you were just right on the borderline of either tire. So, well, that explains why, you know, everybody's choosing different tires here. But, man, TJ lost a lot of spots. Now, Charles did stay out. TJ, he had the double stack, that's why. Oh, man, trouble for so many drivers here because of that safety car. That's crazy. I mean, 2 safety cars already, and hey, that's one more than we've had in the previous 2 races this week. Silver and Golden Class. Silver had 1. Golden Class had 0 because we decided to play bumper cars instead of turning on the damage? Like, man. Yeah, I am going to be looking at this battle right here. First and second in points, first and second on the track with 2 different types of tires. Does anybody come back in the pits? Yep, here comes Charles. Charles has said, nope, screw this. He comes into the pits. That puts Verstappen in the P3, but like I said, Verstappen just got a drive-through. So he will be having to serve that penalty. He will be out of the picture. This is going to put Cam in P3, Jose in P4. Madness. So we got GT Lion in the chat, yesterday's winner. Good to see the king of the jungle in the chat. Yeah, double stack, I mean, well, it's tough because you have to come into the pits there either way because everybody was on their previous set of tires for a good amount of time. It's just unfortunate that B-Tom and TJ were so close on track, and that puts TJ down into P7, and you know, he was behind B-Tom going into the pits, so if it were the other way around, B-Tom would be around P7 or so. Yeah, Toaster, I put him in my podium. Sorry, Toaster. I mean, he started on pole, and he's still got a chance. You know, if the wet tires are the way to go, he's going to get by Verstappen because Verstappen's got that penalty, and if Professional, if he has trouble, he could get by him. So, not over yet for the Alfa Romeo driver, but started on pole, and he's kind of trajected downwards since then. Are we going to have another lap under safety car? Let's take a look. I believe we will. So this will give us about 11 or 12 laps to the finish. So these tires should be good to go to the finish. I don't know if these drivers are, though. Based on what I've seen today and people getting penalties, getting into crashes, there is no way that we won't see at least one more incident. Maybe that'll be my reverse commentator's curse. If I say something bad is going to happen, maybe it won't happen. Sea Freeze in the pits. Oh, and he has a penalty. So he takes care of that right here, and he puts on the intermediates. I don't know what to think, guys. Everybody in the chat, I mean, what do you think? Who's making the right decisions here? Because it's pretty much a split decision throughout these 13 drivers. You have a handful of drivers picking the intermediates, most people going on the wet tires, but the fact that a guy like Sea Freeze came into the pits there to put on intermediate tires, it looked like he was serving a penalty, but regardless, though, the fact that he put on the intermediate tires tells me that you know, maybe that's the way to go. Yeah, we'll have to see. So getting ready for the restart. Like I said, the Mercedes driver, Verstappen, so quick throughout this race, and he looked to have made the right call there, possibly to come into the pits before everybody else, but that safety car came out, threw a wrench into things when he got that drive-through, and now his teammate, Professional, is going to have to dictate this restart once again. And he waited till the last second. Like he's like the person that turns in their assignment at like 11:59 p.m. or 23:59. You know, like if you have an assignment that's due at midnight, you turn it in at the last second. And Professional, the last restart before this one, he went at the last second, and he's going about the same pace he did before. He's speeding up gradually right here. That's interesting. Now he checks up, and now he goes. B-Tom got a good restart right there. Not a good restart for Professional. We are back underway. The top two in the race and in the points side by side down into turns 1 and 2. Who is going to get P1? Oh, contact right there. Oh, more contact. And Professional going a little bit off the track, and B-Tom's got the first spot. A little bit of wheel spin there. So Professional going down into P2. B-Tom got the better restart. And he goes up into P1. That is huge. Toaster. Jose. Look at this here for P3. Cam and Verstappen. That is close. Look at TJ. What a great run out of turn 4. Wow. And he's oh, God, careful. Yep. Good exit out of turn 6. He's got that spot. Good patience right there. He easily could have gone side by side through turn 6 right there, but he said, you know what? I'm going to get him on corner exit. Yeah, let's see. Verstappen, like I said, drive-through penalty. We'll see how he races people here. But otherwise, a pretty clean restart. B-Tom got the better restart. He is now 1 second ahead of Professional, gaining that gap. And now what I am looking for is TJ. Will he gain on Professional? Because if he does, then that tells me the wet tires are the way to go. Cam, Verstappen switching spots, a switchback. Verstappen not going to quit on that move, but now he heads into the pits. So he's serving that drive through. Such a shame for the Mercedes driver right here. But now we go back up to the front. B-Tom. Professional. TJ is closing in. So the wet tires, could that be the right decision? Callie Robb, Dreamsy, side by side through the first chicane. Oh gosh, they are not giving each other any room. Nothing wrong with that as long as there's no contact, but man, that was tight. And oh man, I thought he was going to hit him right there. I thought Callie Robb's race was over. Oh, goes a little deep. Stanley is right there on his rear wing. That was some good close racing. I don't know how they didn't make any contact right there. That was awesome. That's what you want to see. It seems like we have a lot of contact nowadays. Good to see clean racing, aggressive racing, but clean. And no contact was made right there. Yeah. Sean, I bet he is listening to Mozart. Professional, of course, is a music teacher, believe it or not. Very, very interesting. You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of Talladega Nights, when John Gerard, there was a scene where he is in the car, he is sipping his tea, and there's some French classical music in the background. That kind of reminds me of that. That has got to be the ultimate flex. If you win a race listening to classical music, oh, he might have turned his classical music off going over both curbs right there. TJ is right on his rear wing. That's Professional superpower, listening to classical music while winning races. But like I said, I think he might have hit the pause button on that music. He just lost a couple of tenths and he made a little mistake right there going over the curbs. Pretty solid right there. Actually, yeah, that was really good right there. Better execution that time around. Hey, like I said, Toaster. He was P8 on that restart, and now he's up to P5, so good recovery right there. Watch out for Jose, though. Jose started in P14. He's made up a lot of spots, and 4th through 6th, right there. So Seafreeze, let's take a look at him here. Seafreeze, man, I mean, last week finishing 11th. Today, he's in P10, and depending on that penalty that you see there, he might not get any points again. So it could be a tough couple of weeks for Seafreeze after having such a huge moment. He won the British Grand Prix, and I know that he was on a pretty big winless streak. It was a few years since he last won a race. He got that winless streak over, but since then, the past couple of weeks, it's been not as good. So, Professional, you know, I am just contradicting myself here. I say the wet tires are fast, I say the intermediates are fast, and then the wet tires are fast, but Professional just put up the fastest lap, and TJ is right there, so yeah, I don't know what to think. It's the Platinum class. It's usually what happens. Whoa! Okay, so Callie Robb just took the shortcut. He's got 10 seconds of penalties. That's not where you're supposed to be. You can't cut the track. Yeah, I mean, that's 10 seconds out, man, what is going on for Cali Rob? He is saying screw it with track limits. Did he get a penalty there as well? Nope. Somehow that wasn't a penalty. Does he have damage? Is he like, is he giving up or something? Nope, he looks good, but Cali Rob missing both chicanes here. And now he's got 10 seconds, and Cali Rob, I doubt he's going to get any points when it's all said and done. Oh no! Jose out of Ascari. That is the second driver in a row to retire through Ascari, and that is a safety car once again. What does this do with strategy? Strategy just flipped on its head again. Oh, and oh, the Delta. I bet the Delta has gotten B-Tom. He has to come through a stop, and Sir Charles gets a drive through. The Delta can get you with this game more than other games, I think, and it got Sir Charles right here. B-Tom had to come to a stop, a complete stop. Oh my gosh, and Sir Charles, he has a drive through. Cali Rob in the pits, we saw he got 10 seconds in penalties. I want to see what he does right here. Does he have wing damage? He's going for the intermediates. No damage, but he does choose different tires, and yeah, I mean, when you have 10 seconds penalties, you got to get desperate and try something. Ooh. Wow, this is a big risk. Verstappen has just come into the pits. He's in P12 now on the intermediates. Man, I mean, I don't know. I don't even know where to begin when it comes to the podium interviews. What do I ask these guys? How was your strategy? Like, what are they going to tell me? We're going to be here for 2 hours. They're going to have to explain the whole thing. That's crazy. And TJ, too, he was gaining on professional. This puts a whole reset into his plans to get around him and give Red Bull a 1-2 finish. And depending on the safety car, what are we going to have? 5 laps left? 4, 5 laps left? 3 safety cars, a wet Italian Grand Prix. That sums it up. And that's not even the most safety cars we've had this season. There's a lot of times where we hit our limit with safety cars, which is 5. The most you can get is 5 safety cars. And who knows, we might hit our limit, you know? If we get back underway, say lap 22, we get a safety car right at lap 22, and then we get a safety car at like lap 24. I don't know. I'm being cautiously optimistic. Yeah, I don't know about that decision, though, for Verstappen. I mean, like, track position is huge, and I don't think anybody else towards the front is going to make a pit stop, so Verstappen is going to have his work cut out for him. He does have some penalties in front of him. If we take a look at the penalties, yeah, Charles, he has a drive-through. Cali, 10 seconds, so that's a couple of spots that he will automatically get as long as he doesn't have any issues. Seafreeze, he's got 3 seconds. He should be able to get around him, but yeah, I mean, I disagree with that decision. You know, he made the correct call before, pitting before everybody else for the intermediates, but he's doing it again, and at this point in the race, with, like I said, track position and just not much time left. I mean, literally, we are going to have 5 laps left in the race. That is not enough time to gain 11 spots in 5 laps. Unless if we see just, like, a Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen type incident in turn 1. Like, I don't see any way he's managing to get up into the podium here. Maybe he'll get some points. He could get like a 7th or an 8th, but I think that was not... Oh! Professional almost hit B-Tom right there. Wow. Man, B-Tom... I don't want to stir the pot, but Professional did kind of check up in the previous safety car restart and then accelerated, so maybe that was B-Tom being like, if you're going to do that, then let me do that. So B-Tom, Professional, 1-2. The way it's been most of this season is going to be a fight between these two drivers to get to the end of the race. Who is going to win? Will it be B-Tom? Will it be Professional? Will it be TJ? Can TJ pull it off to get his first Platinum Class victory? There goes B-Tom. He gets a fantastic start. Oh, but he gets sideways there on throttle. He had it there, but got sideways, so that ruins a little bit of that restart. We are back underway. Cali Rob going down to P12. Verstappen gets that spot. Going back up to the midfield here. Dreamzy. Stanley going for that position. Cam and Toaster. Toaster going back into P4. Professional struggling right here. Getting a little bit of wheel spin out of turn 2. TJ is within striking distance. Cam. Toaster going for this battle. Oh, Cam's going to try it. Into turn 4. He backs off right there. Oh, Professional off the track. Cutting the corner a little bit there. He went a little bit deep. And now that gap is increasing for B-Tom to try and get yet another victory. Now Cam falling a little bit back from Toaster. He's going to use that battery to try and catch up. But a pretty civilized start. Teammates swapping positions. That's interesting. Chargers going by Seafreeze. I think that was coordinated. Seafreeze does have that penalty. Yeah, B-Tom. He has been on it this season. He has had 3 wins already in just the first 6 races. And if things go the way that it's looking, B-Tom is going to get his 4th win in the first 7 races and increase that gap. And like I said before, he's going for a record-tying 3rd Platinum Championship here in TCR. Take a look at this, though, for P2. TJ Professional going for this position. Let's see how they race each other right here. Could be a Ripple 1-2 if things stay as it is. Professional going to be late on the brakes. Contact right there. Professional going off the track. He has to take the shortcut route, and that is 10 seconds. I am sure he is going to get that removed. There was contact there, headed through the first chicane. Professional had to go wide. I am not going to give him those 10 seconds. I am sure he can get those removed. But Toaster going to take advantage of this opportunity. Toaster. Oh, Professional. Oh, man. Nearly got into TJ right there. But Toaster gets into him. Chaos. Cam going by him for P4. Man, I mean, Professional missed his mark right there. Maybe, like I said, not trying to stir the pot. Maybe he was a little frustrated at TJ right there. TJ did not give him much space. I am not going to put that on Professional. Like I said, I think he was kind of in an unlucky circumstance right there. But TJ and Professional going at it once again. Not the first time that's happened, unfortunately. But now, if we look back here, Toaster, like I said before, Toaster, he fell down to P8 after starting on pole position, and he is looking to possibly get a podium here. Professional not going to be in the podium interviews, at least for the time being. So, for the time being, looking like Toaster could get P4, maybe P3, if he can get by Cam. Verstappen getting another spot, so doing some damage control, but I think that was definitely the wrong decision to come in and make that pit stop. Verstappen going to have to make some ground here. Oh, and Professional, 3 seconds. Oh man, so that he cannot come back from. Getting a 3-second penalty, you cannot get that removed. You know, unless if you say something to the stewards, like, you know, I had an itchy nose or something, I sneezed. He's going to have to keep that. So it looks like now Professional will not be on the podium, even if he gets those 10 seconds removed. So what a day for Cam. He started out, careful. Just as I say that, he gets sideways, but no, what a day for Cam. He started at the very back, and he is looking to get a podium. Oh, Toaster! Oh, I thought his race was over right there. That was too close to call. Toaster and Cam pushing it to the limits. That's allowing Stanley to get up there. And really, I mean, Cam, Toaster, and Stanley, they are 6th, 7th, and 8th in points. So very appropriate that these 3 are all right by each other now, going for that last podium position. Just, wow. I mean, this has got to be one of the races of the year. A wet race, 3 safety cars, drive-throughs, controversy. I'm going to keep an eye on the TCR Discord to see if there's any messages between TJ and Professional, because like I said, they've had a little history. TJ looks to have gone wide a little bit there. Yeah, he lost a lot of time right there, but I kind of want to see Professional get back up there. We love a little bit of drama here in TCR. I would love to see Professional get back up there. Yeah, I mean, look at how much time he's gained on TJ. TJ completely botched the first chicane. But it is looking like a Red Bull 1-2 Charles. He has had a moment. He is getting back underway. Seafreeze is going to get probably P10 when it's all said and done. Not a good week once again, and that really is going to solidify a 1-2 championship battle between B-Tom and Professional, because Seafreeze going into this race, he was 37 points back, and now that gap is going to just get more difficult, because B-Tom, if he wins this race, that is going to be 62 points. So yeah, I think this is... And even then, like Professional, he's got those penalties, so B-Tom, a huge day for the championship going into the mid-season break, which I do want to mention that. Next week we are off, but then we will be back for Abu Dhabi next week. Can Verstappen get another spot on Dreamsy in the Williams? Headed down into turn 1. He's giving him a little bit of space. He's kind of pinching him. Yep, a little bit of contact. And he gets it done. Oh! Chargers going off track right there. That is not where you want to go. Yeah, it's hard to hit your braking points with the rain, especially for these Platinum guys. A reminder that there are no assists, and you cannot use ABS, so there's definitely a lot of lockups happening, and it's not like the Silver class where you are allowed to use any assist. This is the big time. This is the Platinum class, and they are pushing it to the limit. But a huge day, not just for B-Tom, but for Red Bull. A 1-2 TJ is doing his job, and they are going to increase that gap in the constructors. They are going to break that tie with Mercedes. Huge, just a huge day for Red Bull, for B-Tom especially. And he is going to come to the line to take the final lap, so one more lap. He's just got to do 11 more turns, just nice and smooth. And B-Tom is on his way to his 4th win of Season 14. But we are going to watch this battle here for the last podium position. Professional has penalties, so this is it right here. Look at this. Toaster getting a lot of time under braking right there. Cam's got a lot less ERS to work with as well, so Toaster, he's going to use his battery. Yep, you want to start using it now. Just dump it all. You do not want any battery at the finish line. You want to dump it all. He should be using a little bit more right there. He's going to have to use a lot here on this back straightaway. He's at 43%. This is when you got to just dump all of the ERS out. As a matter of fact, oh, yep, here we go. Right here, he could use a little bit. Turn it off. He didn't turn it on. Okay, activate it. Come on, there you go. Activate it. Perfect. Toaster is going for the podium right here. Can he get it done headed into Ascari? He's going to have to wait until after Ascari. He's going to need to nail his braking points. He's right there. Oh, got a little sideways. That might be it. But back at the front, B-Tom has had a great start to this season. This first half of the season, he has 4 wins in the first 7 races. The former Platinum champion is looking to do it again. Another win for B-Tom. B-Tom wins round 7, the Italian Grand Prix. TJ P2. Cam is going to hold off Toaster for P3 on track. A great battle between those guys. Stanley P5. Verstappen P6. Dreamsy P7. Chargers P8. And Professional down in P9. And like I said, he might get those 10 seconds removed, but he still has a 3-second time penalty, so he will not be on the podium unless, if, like I said, he says, you know, oh, you know, when I got that 3-second penalty, I was, you know, I was itching my nose or something. But and Seafreeze, P10. So B-Tom extending that gap on his championship rivals. Yeah, not a good day for Seafreeze. He didn't have the pace, it looked like. He started towards the back. He was just never at the front. It was just one of those days. And Cali Rob, P11, and here comes Charles. He was just reserving this race, but good to get that experience, and he will round out the 12 drivers. Wow. That was... Professionals telling me to invite for podium, but that's not how it works. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can't just invite you to the podium if you didn't finish on the podium. Like, you have to get those penalties removed. So, I mean, yeah, we're gonna interview the Red Bulls and the Haas. That's just how it goes. Yeah, usually what we do, if you want to submit your penalties to get them removed, you do that. You do that within the next day. And then the stewards will take a few days to get through all of the incidents and to determine whether or not those penalties will be removed. But we will be interviewing the Red Bulls and the Haas. That's who we will be interviewing today. Yeah, I am interested to see. Yeah, FeedAct. That's a good question. I might actually ask that. Awesome. So I won't have to create anything on Discord. We got 3 PlayStation guys. I will get them in right now, and we will get started. So we will get these guys in for the podium interview here, and then we will get underway. We will see what everybody has to say, and yeah, like FeedX said, I am interested to see what not only B-Tom thought of the battles, but TJ. I want to hear his opinion on that battle with Professional. I mean, that was that was something. That was a great battle there. Okay, so I'm gonna try and get Cam in here, but we should have the other two set. All right, so stick around. We will hear a very interesting podium interview with these drivers. And then we will get started. All right, so we have one podium guy in here. We will try and get the Red Bulls. Oh, there's one of them. We just got to wait for TJ, and then we should be good to go. Real quick, guys, just make sure your audio is shared. That way everybody can hear your wonderful voices. And then we'll get underway. All right, so we will get started. We've got everybody in here. So P3, we'll start with P3. Cam in the Haas. A great drive for you today, considering that you started towards the back. You had a battle there with Toaster towards the end. Just talk about that battle and how you were able to hold him off.
It wasn't easy. I can only assume that he had faster or lower wings than me on the straight, so it was really just a matter of trying to keep the car in a straight line and get good exits and have enough ERS to defend if need be. But Yeah, it was a good race.
Yeah, it was a crazy race. Just talk about the strategy because it seemed like everybody was kind of split. You had people switching to intermediates, switching to wets. What did you think was the preferred tire out there?
Well, it seemed to me like inters and wets had the exact same pace. Because when I saw a couple people come in for inters, I asked Mark what the weather was looking like, and he said that while it was heavy, this heavy rain would stay for a while. He then said inters were the faster tire, but everyone was keeping up just fine with the guys on the inters, so I just stuck with the wets. I don't really know what he was smoking, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I said it on stream. Like, it seemed like the conditions were like right on the borderline. Like, you could choose either intermediates or wets, and it would work. So that's really interesting that you kind of agree with me on that. But
It wasn't really like it didn't feel like it was a crossover point. Like the wets were still performing fine, but I think it's more it wasn't like wet enough for the inters to not be viable, but it wasn't not wet enough, if that makes sense, for the wets to not be viable. I've
yeah,
never seen that before. It's incredibly weird.
yeah, no, I mean, like between the three safety cars and the weather, like my voice is shot. Like I'm just I'm probably as tired as you are, but congratulations. Huge day for you in the points as well. So nice job.
Thank you.
All right, so now we move on to both Red Bulls, and we will start with P2. TJ, another day of us being in the same booth, same broadcasting booth.
Right? Yo, I hope you didn't. Well, I'm glad you didn't come into this cursing this time.
Oh, dude, you should have seen my commentator's curse on Verstappen. Right
Ooh,
before he got that drive through, I was hyping him up because he just came in and he pitted. But what I do want to ask is that battle with Professional because we saw you two battling, um, and then Professional he ended up getting penalties. Just talk about what that battle was like.
I mean, it was pretty straightforward. I had more straight line speed than he did, and by the time I think going into Parabolica, I took a tighter line to get as much speed as I could, and then I basically got alongside him, or technically got alongside him before the final straight, and I used my ERS advantage and my straight line speed advantage to pull out a gap. I think I even got the overtake done way before we even got to the breaking point. But I guess he broke late trying to hang it out around the outside, and I had a tighter line. There was no space for it. I feel like I even left him a whole lot of space. But
Yeah,
then, unfortunately for him, he ran off the track, and that's you gotta force your opponents to make mistakes, right? That's what the game is all about. That's what F1 is all about. So
yeah, no, I agree. You two, I saw that battle. You didn't make contact with him. I feel like you held your line. So yeah, just a great battle. And I do want to ask about the constructors because you guys finished 1-2 today, and Mercedes, as of now, they are getting pretty much nothing. So how does it feel to get all these points, and how optimistic are you now for the second half of the season for Red Bull?
well, it's going so far so good. Second 1-2 for Red Bull. And shit, I don't know. I think there's only improvements to come because I feel like I'm not quite there yet. Like, I feel like Professional and Silent are still quicker than I am, regardless. So, like, I think the rain and, like, Silent had a mistake at the start, and that actually messed up his race and the drive through. So, I think that pretty much put him out of contention for the podium. If he was there and Professional were there, like Professional and Silent were both quick, so I felt like the people who made less mistakes tonight came out on top, and you don't know what's gonna happen for the next race, but we can't get too cocky or too confident because we have a huge gap because they're gonna come back stronger next race.
Yeah, and I think you are definitely somebody to say that, because last season you came alive in the second half of the season. So you gotta just do what you did in the first half. You guys got to be on it. But yeah, congrats on the P2.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. All right, so now we get to our race winner, B Tom, yet another victory, your fourth win of the season, and you're going for another platinum championship. Just talk about your race. It seemed like a pretty clean race from my perspective, but how did you think it went?
I think it went okay. Uh, Going into quali, seeing that the whole race was out, I was like, oh crap, I might be screwed here. Because I didn't have a wet setup and I didn't do any wet practice. So I left the session, hopped in the time trial real quick, grabbed the wet setup, gave it to TJ, and we just kind of winged it. Yeah, honestly, did not expect the 1-2, especially after qualifying and our preparation going into it. But it seems like for the most part we kept it pretty clean. I know I made a couple mistakes, like going wide at turn 1, and just being slow in the first part of the race because I was struggling massively under braking. But I think towards the end, I got a handle on things, and TJ seemed pretty quick pretty much the entire race. So yeah, I just think we took advantage of the opportunities we were given, and ended up with the 1-2, so I couldn't be happier.
For sure. And as I said, we're now halfway through the season, and you've been in this position before, to where you've got the championship lead, you're going for a championship. So just what is your just mindset for the second half of the season? What do you have to do to keep this championship lead?
Just take it one race at a time. Always, well, actually, when you're trying to, oh my God, I can't even think right now. My brain's fried.
Don't worry, I'm the same way, dude. I'm fried.
I had 3 hours of calc homework, so yeah. Anyways, yeah, going into every race, you always try and win, especially when you're fighting for the championship. But at the same time, you have to kind of know when the battle's lost. Sometimes it's easy to get greedy and make errors or get involved in incidents, as I learned the hard way last season with my collision with Seafreeze at Jeddah, and then in the next race, my collision with Silence at Abu Dhabi. So, yeah, I'm just going to take the lessons I learned from that season on board and just try and get the best result I can on every race and every quali session. So, yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty well put. So yeah, congrats on the P1, and yeah, 4 wins, just an awesome first half to the season.
It's okay.
Only you can say that. You want to win every race.
There's always room for improvement.
I like that. Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. Okay, so I think that's gonna do it. Yeah, TJ, I know I ask you this in the Golden Class races, and since you're in the booth here, any final thoughts?
Yes, sir. It was a it was a good battle, and I'm glad you didn't come in for this curse me. And you gotta watch my restart back. That was amazing. That was amazing.
Yeah, you did have just an awesome restart, and B Tom too. I mean, you guys late in the race there, you got better restarts than professional, I feel like.
Yeah, with the whole restart situation, I noticed that professional, he likes to go really late, pretty much almost once you're already at the start finish line. But the issue with that is that the person behind can sort of predict when you're going to go, because you can overtake once you cross the start finish line. So if you get so close to the start finish before you go, then the person behind can just leave a small gap and then go, and then just try and time it right. And if you get the timing right, well then, the leader is basically screwed because there's nothing they can do about it. And yeah, I think we just had better straight line speed. So once we were able to get relatively close, it wasn't too hard to overtake. But of course, in the wet, it's always hard to stay right up on the back of someone because of dirty air and the low grip. But yeah, professional, keep doing what you're doing. We'll take advantage gladly. But no. Jokes aside, he had a good race. I think he was a bit unlucky with some penalties, but that's a part of it.
It is, and we will have to see what the battle looks like in 2 weeks' time. Round 8 will be in Abu Dhabi. Bhutan Professional 1-2, but that gap has increased in the points, so we will have to see what happens there. But that will do it. My name is Camden Luca, and we will see you in